if you just want to indulge me for a minute, I just want to show you some of I have so many great pictures of trees, but I just wanted to show you a few. This is another example of a reiterating tree. This tree is over 300 feet tall. But would you look at the basal hollows, that tree I'm peeking out of there, we could get 15 people inside. That tree, I call it the mother of the forest, and she's my sheltering tree. And so when I'm hiking in the rain and storms and I just need a little break from the downpour, it's weird hiking in the deep woods in the rain because you don't get rained on because the canopy is catching all the water. What is hitting you is the collected drops that are coming off the tree. So it's not little raindrop, it's like these big, like boom, 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 coming down. And sometimes you just I need to tap out for a few minutes to catch my breath. And I have spent much time in that great mother. And it's one I like to take people to go visit. That is a red-belted polypore mushroom coming off that tree. These moss-covered trees. And there, I'm back in my favorite gnome home, and you see my hand? That's one of the lessons I teach the kids when I'm on my walks. I tell them, I say, if you cut off my hand, it would just leave a stump. But if you cut off a redwood tree's hand, it would do that. It would grow new multiple hands. And it's just a really tricky thing. One of my favorite things to do in the woods is to have beard offs with the trees. And the big leaf maples are epiphyte hosts. Does anyone know what an epiphyte type plant is? An epiphyte is a plant that lives on another, like mosses or lichens or ferns, things like that. And for whatever reason, big leaf maples are generous hosts, and they will often be covered in like a thick fur of moss, and out of that will be growing ferns and all kinds of other things. But it's also symbiotic, it's not a parasite. And the maple trees will actually put roots out into the moss along their trunks. So they're not even having to pull water all the way from the ground, they're pulling it up along their bodies, up their trunks, all the way to the top of the tree. And the mosses get so big that I like to go up and see who has the biggest beard with the different maple trees. And then there's one more of those little spruce cone things. So, and this last tree, I visited this guy right before I came up here. And this is the third tallest tree in the world. And it is 376 feet tall. And I'm not going to say its name, just because this is something I'm learning to be very discreet. Paradoxically, when you name a tree, it can often be its death sentence. Because once people associate a name with a certain feature, a size or girth or base or height, they want to go see it, just like me, right? And the tallest tree in the world, Hyperion, you actually cannot access. They have, I think it's almost like a half mile or a quarter mile around this tree in its little basin where there's posted signs like, do not enter, this is a restricted area, the restricted part of the forest. And it was just because too many people like me that love trees were trampling through the undergrowth, and they were worried it was going to actually kill the tree. It was certainly degrading the forest around it. And that's why here, where you have 10,000 visitors a day to Grant or Sherman, they have them blocked off so you don't have all those people trampling those shallow roots, because even those mighty giants. Now, if it's just a few people, it's not going to be a problem. But when you get 10,000 people like going around the walls of Jericho, right, it's going to cause a problem. And so this beauty, I just love to go and sit at the feet of these trees, and I just try to still myself and listen and learn and think what it must be like